With that, today's session is going to be on efficient knowledge-based management for MSPs. It's going to be a very interactive session, so feel free to again ask any questions throughout today's webinar. In today's speakers, we have Jen Six. She is a senior product marketing manager here at GoTo, and then we also have Daniel Kimming. He is a director of engineering. Hello, guys.
Hi,
Hi.
Hello,
Maria. Thank
hello.
you so
Of
much for
course.
the intro.
Sounds good. I'll leave it up to you guys. Take it away.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you. Well, welcome everyone to Efficient Knowledge Based Management. We are, as always, very jazzed to be here, and we do have some topics defined that we will be working through today with a demo that I'm jumping 4 bullets down because I'm so excited about it of LogMeIn Resolve's knowledge base and beyond. But before we get into that, we do kind of want to level set and talk through really defining a knowledge base, get everybody on the same page for the content of what we'll be chatting through. And then we'll talk about the benefits that your MSP can really experience when you do have a defined knowledge base. And some of those are probably pretty obvious, but I think when we put some stats behind them and really start to draw them out, it becomes so much more impactful. So I really want to talk about some of the improvements that your MSP can realize when you do have this type of defined knowledge base. And then we'll talk through some strategies and tips on how you can really begin to build that out in your MSP. And of course, the demo, and then we'll open it up for questions. And like Maria said, you'll want to throw your questions in there because we do have a giveaway that we're excited about as well. So definitely make sure that you are popping those into the Q&A. But first, I didn't have this in the topics. First, we are going to give you a quick poll question just to understand where everybody is at when it comes to managing your own internal knowledge base. So, how would you rate the effectiveness of your current knowledge base? Maybe you don't have one. Maybe it's not very effective. No one's really using it. You've got it. It could be better, or it's perfect. In which case, I would love to turn over the presenter rights. Just kidding. But awesome. I see some answers coming through. So it looks like we've got a pretty mixed bag here. Some without one, some it's just not very effective. And then it looks like another large group, it's okay, but it could be better. So perfect. You're in the right spot. So let's keep it rolling. So when we think about a knowledge base, there's really two things that I equate to a knowledge base. And those two things are your internal knowledge and your client facing knowledge. And both are super important. And we'll talk about why. But your knowledge base is really a way to manage the knowledge in your organization. And when you have that really defined and built out, it helps you scale and grow because you can start to do more with less. So when we think about the internal side of the knowledge management, it really is those things that your team is going to use to resolve common issues, know how to get things done without maybe tapping on everyone's shoulder, asking, or having to do a lot of Google searching. If you've got a standard that needs to be followed, we can get that into a knowledge base and everybody can do the same thing. So those resolution steps, those SOPs or standard operating procedures that maybe you're just starting to define too. But getting those into a knowledge base that can be accessed is going to be huge. And I always love the idea of documenting your escalation processes. In my past lives, I've actually worked in software support. And one of the things that I think we did so well on the team I worked on was keeping our escalations very standardized and having a document that outlined if you are going to escalate this ticket to a higher tier, you need to ensure and document that you've completed these 5 steps. And it made it so much easier for the teams that those tickets were getting escalated to know what had already been done, to not bother the end user or a customer with the same questions over and over. We had documented everything so that by the time it got to that team, it was really easy for them. And I'm sure they loved the ability when they could kick the ticket back if we didn't have that documented, because it was just a time waste. We should have already done these things if it was getting escalated. So just something to think about. You also can leverage your knowledge base to create client facing knowledge management. I have an interesting statistic about end users wanting to be able to self resolve their issues coming up, but making that kind of information that an end user could run through on their own. Will deflect tickets from your team and improve their satisfaction because they're able to resolve their own tickets really fast. So think about the things that are commonly getting asked to your team, those FAQs. Can we turn that into something that we can make available to our customers through our portal, or step-by-step instructions for common things that they might be looking to accomplish or achieve? And then, of course, the resolution steps for simple issues that you might see a lot. That your team is just getting a little bit dragged down by, that your customer could handle on their own. So, thinking through these things, and we'll have some more tips about prioritizing the content you create, but think about how these could really impact the way that your team works. Because as an MSP, there are things I know we're always looking to accomplish, and that is just really to be able to do more with less and to be able to get our tickets, our customer issues resolved faster. That results in being able to do more, and it results in happier customers. Giving the ability for customers to resolve their own issues puts the power in their hands, and they'll remember that you are the one that empowered them to do that. Another really, really important benefit of having a knowledge base for your MSP is faster and really easier onboarding of new employees. There's so many statistics floating around out there around turnover and how hard it is to find new talent. So it's really important that the experience of a new employee is a good one. And when they are getting onboarded and when they're going to resolve new tickets they're getting assigned, it's also really important that they feel like they have the knowledge to go ahead and do that. So we're making them feel more confident, and we're also providing a consistent experience. So this is something that has just stuck with me, and I'm excited to share it. I'm sure everybody has heard some kind of variety of this throughout their lives, but in high school, I was in a video production class, and I will never forget my teacher in that class saying, "You are only as good as your last broadcast." And I've kept that with me in everything that I've done. And I think it goes to say, for a customer, you're only as good as their last experience with you. So it's so critical that you continue to provide a really good experience and make that consistent. And a knowledge base really helps you do that because you've got everything standardized and documented for those people on your team. So what does that result in? All of this results in happier customers and truly more confident teammates. When they've got the knowledge in front of them, it just makes it easier to do their job, and that helps retain that talent as well. And here are some interesting insights and stats. And I will say there were so many when I was researching this that I've changed this slide multiple times to highlight the ones that I think are kind of the most important. But one of the ones that blew my mind is people report spending over 3.5 hours every day looking for information when there's no standardized knowledge base. And that might be not even realized by the people doing it. It's just become second nature. But once you bring in a knowledge base and you have this defined place someone can go to, there are reports of reducing handling time of customer issues by 15 to 25%. That's huge, and that's a large amount of time that you can bring back into your organization and maybe resolve more customer issues. Now you can bring on more customers. You have more time to onboard more customers. Also interesting that 73% of customers prefer self-resolution. And of course, we want to be there for them when they need us, but if there is the opportunity for someone to resolve something on their own, and you are the one that gave them that knowledge, that's pretty powerful as well, especially if it's through like your portal or something. They know that that is a touch point with you and that you made that available, and now they can just move on with their day. They don't even have to wait for anybody to get back to them. So that's pretty powerful stuff when you really think about all of the time and the cost that you will save as an MSP just by having a knowledge base defined. So when you are looking to go and either shape up the knowledge base you've got or really start to build out what that knowledge base is going to look like, there are a few things you'll want to do to really get set on the right foot. The first being to prioritize the content. This is kind of a no brainer, but you really want to get the content that would be the most helpful to your team created first, and that content that will help you deflect those service tickets for your customers. So ways to do that, look through the tickets that you've received over the past 6 months, month, whatever would make the most sense for you, and start to identify those patterns so that you can say, okay, these are the types of issues my customers are having. And it may vary based on the industries that you serve. So there's no one size fits all, but you can start to identify that based on historical data that you've collected from the tickets that you've received. Start to build that out and make sure that you're structuring it in a way that makes it easy to find. What you'll see with LogMeIn Resolve is we do some of that automatically for you with automatic labeling and things like that. But make sure that you have some kind of structure in place that makes sense for how those articles are getting defined and how your team is using them. Another thing that's really important and something just to think about is everybody should have a voice in your knowledge base, and how you make that accessible to people is totally up to you. But for those that are really contributing to it, we want to make it easy because we don't want it to feel like it's just another task that they have to do, or make it fun. Maybe you can gamify it with whoever's submitting or contributing the most to the knowledge base over a set period of time, wins some kind of recognition or some kind of prize. But we really want to promote and integrate that knowledge base into everything that the team is doing. And that way it just becomes second nature, right? Just like maybe searching for all of that information right now is second nature, and we don't even realize how much time we're wasting doing that. We want to make the use of the knowledge base second nature. They're just doing it, and it's fun for them, or maybe there is some kind of reward in it because it is so impactful. It's really worth considering doing something like that. And then you really also want to measure success. So it's easy for me to say, hey, spend all this time building your knowledge base and get it out into the wild, and then maybe just leave it. That's not what you want to do. You want to carve out the time because this is such an important initiative, and you want to make sure that you're maintaining it by measuring the success of those knowledge base articles you've got. And that will help you, again, prioritize content, make sure that it's getting updated, maybe deprecating old assets that don't make sense anymore. And then also make ownership clear. So maybe everybody can contribute or the technical team can contribute, but you've got someone who owns the knowledge base. They're reviewing those updates and publishing them. Um, you just want to have that defined so that there is truly a standard for what is getting put into your knowledge base. And then all of this is really to say to build your culture around knowledge management. Um, there's people always talking about, well, I've got it all in my head, or this person on the team really knows what they're doing and they've kind of become this me. Get them to put it into your knowledge base because you never know what's going to happen. They could win the lotto and then maybe they're not working anymore after that. So there's a lot of things that you don't want that knowledge to walk out the door. You want to have that as something everyone on the team can rely on, and everyone on the team that needs it can access it. So just some tips, but uh, again, I know it can be a heavy lift, especially if you don't have one. So we're excited to show you some of the things that LogMeIn Resolve can do to help ease that burden. But also when it comes time to really sink your teeth in and build that knowledge base, just think about all those benefits that we talked about. That a knowledge base can bring to your MSP. It's, is it the pain of the same or the pain of change, and which is going to outweigh the other? The benefits that you will reap by implementing a knowledge base will far outweigh the pain of having to build one. So definitely take into consideration where those top knowledge base articles you can build are, and start small and just keep building it and keep building that culture so you can really reap those benefits when the time comes. And I love this quote, and I think it will really build and make sense as we go through the demo with my colleague Daniel here. But last week's ticket is tomorrow's automation, and we're so excited to show you really what we mean when we say that. So, Daniel, I will turn it over to you, and you can take it away.
Thank you, Jen. So great intro into the knowledge-based topic. And I'd like to show you now how it manifests itself in Resolve in the product. So this is Resolve. As I'm on the premium plan, I have the knowledge base that we offer right here and with easily accessible. So I just want to start with how it looks. Some of our audience might not have seen it before. So you have area where you can structure according to your needs. You can create a folder structure of how you want to put your articles in a good organization. And here you have the list of articles that can be all topics that are meaningful to you that you want to share for common and repetitive issues. And you can have a tabular layout, you can have a list layout if it's easier. You can show only those that are visible to end users and to agents. I'll get back to that in a minute. And you can easily create new and import articles from samples or from existing documents and files that you might have around. And one thing is we'd like to use AI to make things around the knowledge base easier. And I'd like to highlight how we do that. So one small thing is we're giving you an article summary. So you don't have to go through all of them. You can just hover over them and you see what is the content of them. You can also have an automatic label generation, so it's easy for you to have the structure of how you want to label things. We also have an approval flow allowing you to draft new articles and having separate publisher and approvers that will have a second pair of eyes on it to make sure the quality is high. And how does an article look like? Well, what do we have here on Outlook? So this is how an article can look like. So we have a very nice and easy editor that is easy to use, have the main function available, image upload, and tables all available to you. I can save a draft, but as a publisher, I can also directly publish, so it's easy to save. Since I didn't do anything, let's just discard these changes right now. And what I want to show is not only do we have summaries available to you, it's also very easy to bring up that knowledge. So what a lot of people have told us, what I love about the knowledge base is that I can just put all of the things they would otherwise keep in some file somewhere in here, and I can use GoPilot to make it available. So GoPilot is our chat bot, and so for instance, it's not just about IT problems like Outlook. I uploaded an example travel and expense policy file that might be updated annually, and that you can update here and give easy access. So can I book premium economy for air travel? Something you usually forget until you need it, and boom, there you have the answer, and it even links to the file where it got from the knowledge base from. So it's very easy to access the knowledge as it grows. And you don't even need to go to a specific article necessarily. You can use our AI with your question to directly get the answer extracted that you would need. So that's all nice and great, but I think one main benefit is how easy it is to create new content from our knowledge base. So let's see how that works. So you might have a ticket that is all about a printer not printing a document. The end user might have mentioned, oh, I restarted the printer, there's paper loaded, but it still doesn't work. So you might have a remote support session and fix the issue. And now you want to document that for, as Jen said, the new people in the future that might be joining your company. So let's resolve that ticket. And you can just very briefly say, go to Windows settings, show Windows services, restart the printer spooler. And I can say, yes, this is important to me. I want to generate a knowledge base article for future use. So what happens now is, ta-da, the knowledge base basically writes itself, right? It takes all of the context of the ticket, all of the comments that you had for the end user, everything that was as part of the ticket is now then turned into a reusable knowledge base article with the resolution steps outlined and given you here as a draft. So it couldn't be easier to just capture the knowledge and curate the content as also Jen outlined before. It's just very easy to do. And think about how much time you just saved. Think about how much time it would have taken to come up with this. And boom, it's just there. So I can save a draft here. And yeah. So with that, beyond the writing itself, I want to highlight another piece. So let's get back to our help desk queue. So yesterday's ticket is tomorrow's automation. So not only can our knowledge base basically write itself, we can also assist you in automating stuff. So this seems like an important ticket. Let's have a look. Unable to access internal HR portal. Okay, there are some similar tickets, but I'm not quite sure. I think I'll have to go onto the device to and start a remote support session here. What I'm going to do here is one typical SOP to resolve this is to just clear the user's browser cache and cookies as I'm connecting here. And there I am. So the user reported that the issue is in Edge. So what I can do now is a very repetitive and easy thing. Okay, where are the settings here? Okay. Here, and let me clear the browsing data. All time seems good for me to make sure we can clear whatever is causing issue to load the HR portal. All right, looks good. Should be fine set up. Now let me end this session for a moment. What I see here is our post session screen. And now how do you capture this knowledge in our knowledge base? Well, what we do is on the post session screen, of course, you have the video here, but we are also using AI generating a activity detail log on what happened in the session. So this is processing the video in the background, figuring out what has happened, and takes about 1 minute to 5 minutes to complete. So I'll get back to here. Oh no, it's already there. Wow, that was fast. So what you can do here is, hey, I fixed this. Not only you can come from a ticket, but actually also from a remote support session where you actually did something. So yesterday's tickets, and now we're turning it into tomorrow's automation. Because what you did here, you can also turn into a knowledge base article with a single click. So boom, as I showed again, it writes itself. But not only does it outline the steps that were taken, it also turns it into something we call a virtual technician plan. Virtual technician is a tool we have in Resolve to automate remote support sessions. And a plan is like a recipe for that agent. Tells it what it is supposed to do, basically. So what we can do here is, let's save this. And now we might have another ticket that came up. Oh, and it's actually a similar issue. So another time, HR portal not loading up. Okay, let me connect to that session here. Wait, that was not the one. Exactly. This was the device. Let me start the session. And what I can do now is when I'm in the session, so here I am, there is a, in the side panel, you'll access our virtual technician, and it can load from the knowledge base your previous SOPs that you did to resolve the previous tickets. So you can bring it up with this icon here, or you can just go here and browse the plan library. And the most recent one we have here. And now, not only does the knowledge base write itself, it'll help you automate your SOPs as well. So it's not only going to house the SOPs, you can also, just watch as it does itself. So previously we opened Microsoft Edge, and this is, just to prove nobody's clicking here. The agent is doing it on itself, on its own. I have my hands up, and just like I did it before, now the agent will go to the settings menu and apply the fix automatically. So now I could continue watching, or actually go to another ticket. Someone needs help showing some hidden files. I can start working on that. Oh, that's easy. I respond to that ticket. And let me just go back to the session here. Oh, look, it's actually proceeding well. Okay, fine, looks good. So I can, as you can see, I can hand this off to the agent. I don't need to watch it all the time. I can continue doing other stuff. So so this is like speaks to the consistent experience that Jen mentioned. So this recipe has been captured once, and you can reapply it exactly the same way multiple times again whenever it comes up. So all of those things that are repetitive, you can just do it once in your remote support session, generate the session notes from it automatically, and turn it into a reusable knowledge base article. So that's how we think about yesterday's tickets is tomorrow's automation. And this is how we do it.
Love
Okay.
that. This is so cool.
Okay. Yep. I think one small thing that I wanted to still show as the agent is finishing here, I think the stat was really good. The 73% of end users that want to use self-service to resolve the issues. So how can we use the knowledge base for this? So what we have here on our customer portal is a chatbot that will help you with that ticketing deflection. So let's say something that has been bothering me personally a lot recently is I don't like how crowded the new tab page of Microsoft Edge is. Can you help me turn off all the content and widgets for the new tab page? Okay, let me ask our AI here that is focused on end user support. And you will have some standard answer from the world knowledge that AI is having. But what if that isn't good enough for your use case? So we can go back to the knowledge base, and we actually have an article here that I prepared before that exactly gives the answer. So we can say, okay, this is a article that is focused not for agent, but for end user. So let's enable that and give it the visibility to be on the customer portal. So let's restart this here and see how it would work for when we had that knowledge base article in place. So let me ask the same question. And now, boom, the article is generated based on your knowledge that you curated in the knowledge base. There's also a link to the article directly. So you can also send this article as a response to the ticket in case, so people can just view the article themselves. But this is showing how you can use the knowledge base as a tool for ticket deflection for self-service users, for allowing users to self-service to their needs. Yeah, and I think with that, this is our demo. So yesterday's ticket is tomorrow's automation. This is how it goes. Okay. So back to you, Jen.
Yes, thank you so much, Daniel. I hope everyone enjoyed that demo as much as I did. I think I was smiling the whole time because it's so cool. And I know anything that can make repetitive tasks easier or not even have to be done manually is a win. So, just some quick key takeaways before we open it up for questions. Just remember how critical a knowledge base is to the scalability of your MSP and how much it really can empower employees to do more and how it can delight your customers. And by building that culture of documentation, you are really building a culture of accountability, consistency, and one that helps reduce resolution times. And then hopefully, we've driven home that LogMeIn Resolve is built to streamline the way that a knowledge base is managed and how you can automate those resolutions. So again, yesterday's ticket, tomorrow's automation. But now we shall open it up for some questions. I see that we did get a couple. So the first was, which team would you consider being responsible for making articles in the knowledge base? Should it be IT, or should it be like a marketing team that can help explain issues better and or make them more customer facing? So I think one, maybe you just turn it over to technology. Like you saw, LogMeIn Resolve can help write those articles directly for you with those steps and keep them really concise and to the point. Um, you really do want to make sure that technical expertise is there. And then maybe with the ownership and approval process flow, turn it over to somebody who could tweak it or make it sound a little better, or even run it through AI to make sure that it is reading properly. But I think it really comes down to bandwidth too on the team. So as much automation as possible is always good, but definitely having a set of eyes that can ensure it's correct and ensure that it is well written is always useful. So depending on who can make that happen. We did get a couple more questions that Daniel, you might be better suited to answer if you want to take a peek at those.
Sure. How does the tool handle remote sessions behind firewalls or in net? Yes, that's a good question. So we have a support article that is dedicated to how to set up your network and do firewall configuration in a secure way, allowing Resolve to basically function. So once you install our unattended client and the computers is a managed device in Resolve, the functionality that I showed is available to you. And for that, we have basically, as I said, a support article that gives you the information what you need to do to whitelist the specific settings that are needed to make our product work.
Awesome. Thank you.
Second one, can we upload our current knowledge base information and have AI cross references? Yes, we have possibilities for that. So what we have currently available is a easy PDF upload. So that is the requirement we got from folks. They have a lot of existing documents that they want to use, and or simple Markdown import we have. We're looking into opening up for an external API as well, so you can make it easy to have a batch import mechanism. We have been having success with that. So there's ways to migrate to our knowledge base solution automatically, semi-automatically, depends on how you currently have your data. But yes, that's certainly a use case that we want to support.
Perfect. It looks like those are all the questions that we got. So with that, one more poll question for you. Just curious if you are interested in learning more about LogMeIn Resolve and would like to chat with one of our LogMeIn Resolve experts. So we'll give you a moment here to let us know, and we will certainly follow up with those interested. Right. See lots of answers coming through. So very good. Thank you for letting us know. And we'd love to meet you in person. So if you are attending ChannelCon hosted by CompTIA in Nashville, that is going to be the end of July. We will be there. Make sure to be out on the lookout for us. But if you are interested in learning more about that event, go ahead and scan that QR code. But we will be there ready to chat. I'll leave that up for just one more moment. I know everybody says that, and then it feels like the QR code goes away as soon as you try to scan it. So I'm going to really be mindful of that. And another one, If you are maybe just interested in kicking the tires around on LogMeIn Resolve, we do have a free 14-day trial built for MSPs. So we do so much more than what you saw today. And what you saw today is pretty cool, but we have the remote support, the RMM, the ticketing, the AI that you saw. So there's so many great things that you can accomplish in your MSP. So if you want to give that a whirl, you can absolutely do that for free for 2 weeks. We'd love to have you try it out. And now, probably the moment everybody's been waiting for, we will announce our gift card winner. So, thank you to all who submitted questions, and thank you to everybody who attended. Even if you didn't have a question, we still love having you here, and we are excited. Fabio, you are our winner today, so be on the lookout. We will follow up with you on that, but congrats, and we hope you spend it well. So, with that, we all would love to say thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to see you next time, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye bye.